Did you know that there is a supervolcano in Yellowstone National Park? Well, there are actually dozens of them across the globe, and even though they are very rare, their impact on our planet is much bigger than you would think. So we decided to explore them, learn about them, and find out if we should be afraid of them or not. And let me tell you this, their power is truly terrifying, but also fascinating at the same time. And what we found out will definitely surprise you. So make sure you stick with us until the end to find out more. First, we need to define what a supervolcano actually is. A supervolcano is an enormous volcano which has the potential to produce extremely large eruptions. But how do we measure the size of a volcanic eruption? Well, luckily for us, scientists have actually created a scale called the Volcanic Explosivity Index, or VEI for short, which categorizes the magnitude of explosive eruptions based on 8 different parameters, such as the height of the eruption plume, the volume of material ejected, and the energy released. Volcanic eruptions are ranked from 0 to 8 on this scale, with 8 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. And in order for an eruption to be classified as a super-eruption, it needs to have a VEI of 8. Only 7 eruptions have been recorded throughout Earth's history that meet these criteria. And if you want to know what they are, make sure you stick with us until the end, because we'll be discussing all of them. Now, supervolcanoes can be quite dangerous for the areas surrounding them, but did you know that some of them can literally affect the whole world? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Yellowstone National Park is home to the Yellowstone Supervolcano, one of the most well-known and potentially the most dangerous supervolcanoes in the world. It's located in the northwest corner of Wyoming and covers an area of about 43 by 29 miles, making it the largest active volcanic system in the Rocky Mountains. The park was established in 1872, making it the first national park in the world. And since then, it's become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the US. But it's important to remember that underneath all that natural beauty lies a supervolcano capable of causing massive destruction. The Yellowstone Supervolcano consists of 3 different calderas or large craters formed by previous eruptions. The magma chamber beneath the volcano is around 43 by 29 miles, which is similar to the size of the Greater London area. It's one of the largest magma chambers on Earth, and it's constantly moving and reshaping itself. The last major eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano occurred around 640,000 years ago and had a VEI of 8. This eruption is known as the Lava Creek eruption, and it's estimated that it released around 2,500 cubic miles of ash and pumice. If this were to happen again, it would definitely have global consequences. You see, the ash and gases would spread around the world, blocking sunlight and disrupting weather patterns. Global temperatures would likely drop by several degrees and crops would fail. But it wouldn't just be the temperature that would change. The ash would also cause respiratory problems and other health issues. In fact, studies have shown that the ash from the 1883 Krakatoa eruption in Indonesia caused thousands of deaths in the surrounding areas. If something similar were to happen again, it could be much worse. Plus, the amount of sulfur dioxide gas released into the atmosphere could trigger acid rain, which could damage buildings, forests, and lakes. And that's not all. The ground beneath our feet could start to shake like never before. You see, the pressure from the magma chamber could cause earthquakes all over the world. In fact, the 1883 Krakatoa eruption in Indonesia caused earthquakes as far away as the Arctic Circle. So you can imagine how bad it would be if this were to happen. Of course, there is no need to panic just yet because the chances of the Yellowstone supervolcano erupting anytime soon are very low. Scientists monitor it closely, and so far there are no signs of an imminent eruption. But it's still important to be aware of the potential risks and to prepare accordingly. If it did erupt, emergency services would likely be overwhelmed, and it would be difficult to evacuate everyone in time. Plus, the ash and gases released could cause global chaos and disruption. So it's important to stay informed and to have a plan in place just in case. While the Yellowstone supervolcano is a serious threat, it's also a reminder of the incredible power of nature. It's a beautiful place that should be enjoyed responsibly and with respect for the awesome forces that surround us. Just imagine the power it must have had when it first erupted and shaped the land around it. It's hard to believe that anything could be so powerful and awe-inspiring at the same time. But while it may be a sight to behold from afar, it's important to remember that it's also a reminder of the fragility of our planet and the importance of respecting the natural world around us. And speaking of supervolcanoes, we almost forgot to mention another one that might surprise you. Beneath the streets of Paris, one of the most romantic cities in the world, lies a supervolcano. That's right, Paris is built on top of a supervolcano that could erupt at any moment. It's not as big or as active as Yellowstone, but it's still a serious threat that shouldn't be taken lightly. The Paris Basin is a sedimentary basin located in northern France, and it's home to the Paris supervolcano. The volcano is estimated to be around 12 miles wide and 6 miles deep. Now, it's important to note that this is not an active volcano. In fact, it hasn't erupted in millions of years. However, it's still considered to be a supervolcano because of its size and potential to cause massive destruction if it were to erupt today. The last eruption of the Paris Basin supervolcano occurred around 50 million years ago during the Eocene epoch. At that time, the volcano was much more active, and it was responsible for creating the Paris Basin. Over millions of years, the area has been filled with sediment, and now the city of Paris is built on top of it. Now, as we mentioned before, the Paris Basin supervolcano is not an active volcano, and there is no immediate threat of an eruption. However, it's still important to monitor it closely, just in case. In fact, geologists from the French National Institute for Earth Sciences and Technology have been studying the volcano in recent years to better understand its history and potential risks. They've used various techniques such as seismic imaging and gravity measurements to create a detailed map of the volcano's structure. Their findings suggest that the volcano is made up of several smaller volcanoes that have merged over time. So while it may seem like a distant threat, the reality is that we can't predict when or if a supervolcano will erupt. Even if it's been dormant for millions of years, it only takes one major event to trigger an eruption. Scientists have been closely monitoring the Yellowstone supervolcano for signs of increased activity, such as increased earthquake frequency, changes in the shape of the caldera, and changes in the amount of heat being released. If any of these signs were to occur, it could indicate that an eruption is on the horizon. However, it's important to note that so far there have been no significant changes detected in Yellowstone, and experts say that the risk of eruption remains low. Still, it's always best to be prepared for any potential natural disasters. In addition to staying informed and having a plan in place, it's also important to support organizations that are dedicated to studying and monitoring supervolcanoes. These organizations rely on funding from various sources to conduct their research, and it's crucial that they have the resources they need to do their work. We live in a world where it's easy to feel helpless in the face of big problems. But the truth is that there are things that we can do to make a difference. By staying informed, being prepared and supporting organizations that are working to protect us from supervolcanoes, we can all play a part in keeping our communities safe. Yellowstone National Park is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and it should be enjoyed by everyone. With a little bit of knowledge and preparation, we can all do our part to stay safe and enjoy the wonders of this incredible park. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about our planet, click on the video on screen now. Thank you for watching.